Banks, airlines, television networks, and healthcare systems around the world that rely on Microsoft 360's app reported widespread outages as of Friday. Thousands of flights and train services were canceled in the United States and Europe, and there were disruptions to many other public and retail services. The issue was caused by a technical problem that global security firm CrowdStrike stated it had identified in its software and was working to resolve. When CloudStrike's technical support line on Friday was called, a pre recorded message stated that the company was aware of reports of crashes on Microsoft's system related to its Falcon sensor software. In a statement shared Friday with CBS News and on social media, CloudStrike CEO George Kurtz stated that the issue had been identified and a solution was being implemented. Quote, CrowdStrike is actively working with customers impacted by a defect found in a single content update for Windows Host. Mac and Linux hosts are not impacted. This is not a security incident or a cyber attack. This issue has been identified, isolated, and a fix has been deployed. Over 600 flights have been canceled in the United States by as early as Friday morning, and more than 1,200 others were delayed. Globally, more than 15,000 flights were delayed early Friday, and that number was expected to rise. American Airlines, Delta, United Airlines, and Spirit Airlines grounded all pending flight departures, though American Airlines and United lifted their ground stop later Friday morning. Quote, we are resuming some flights, but expect scheduled disruptions to continue throughout Friday. In Europe, Lufthansa, KLM and SAS Airlines reported disruptions. Switzerland's largest airport in Zurich stated that planes were not being allowed to land. In India, a country's primary airport in Delhi, everything was being done manually. No electric check-in terminals were functioning and gate information was being updated by hand on a whiteboard. Hospitals in Germany stated that they were canceling elective surgeries as of Friday, and doctors in the UK stated that they were having issues accessing their online booking systems. Pharmacists in the UK stated that there were disruptions with medicine deliveries and accessing prescriptions. Britain's Sky News and BBC's television network aimed at children both went off the air on Friday, though Sky came back up with presenters reading from prompters' notes rather than off teleprompters as they normally would. When New Zealand's acting Prime Minister, David Sawyer, stated on social media that officials were working hard to understand the impacts of the wide range outages. Quote, I have not currently received any reportings to indicate these issues are related to malicious cyber security activity. A spokesperson for Germany's Interior Ministry also stated that there was no indication that the outages were due to a cyber attack. But even with the fix being implemented by CrowdStrike, some of the problems caused will likely take time to fix. Chief Information Officer at identity security firm CyberArk, Omer Grossman, stated this. He said, the reason for this is that the problem has to do with endpoint detection and response, or EDR, products that run on individual client computers. Quote, it turns out that because the endpoints have crashed, the blue screen of death, they cannot be updated remotely and the problem must be solved manually, endpoint by endpoint. This is expected to be a process that will likely take days.
We all know, but still pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack. To use the COVID-19 crisis as a timely opportunity to reflect on the lessons the cybersecurity community can draw and improve our preparedness for a potential cyber pandemic.
Now, I just want to make sure that none of us are lost or confused in any of the information that we were able to receive. This is why I tried my best to, in a sense, give you guys, little hints and throw things directly out there. because when it deals with mainstream media, when it deals with all of the things that you intake, when it deals with any forms of media, from your cell phone to your tablet to your computer to your laptop to your video games, there's a little bit of truth in everything that is placed directly out there. If you happen to go and search Twitter, you will see a variety of things that people want to state. And I also want to add in that currently at this moment in time, it seems like everybody that wanted to, in a sense, throw to the side anybody that considered themselves a conspiracy theorist, anybody that wanted to question the government or any of the other things directly out there, because you have a small group of people that feel like they were been lied to and been led astray for decades, even before I was born. Now it seems that overnight a lot of people, a lot of the quote unquote naysayers, are now all of a sudden waking up and want to consider themselves conspiracy theorists. But before I go off on a tangent, let me make sure I stay the course. The main point of this video is to make you guys aware of a lot of things that are going on, especially when you have pre-programming that is taking place. Some of the videos that I brought to you guys, which dealt with a movie that was called Leave the World Behind, it touched on or dealt with a supposed cyber attack happening all around the world. Nobody didn't know who to blame, but yet everybody was going to decide to blame somebody. And you started to see the crumbling or the breakdown of American society. Another movie that we ended up having that I didn't do a review of yet is Civil War. And the main things that I want to specifically point out to you guys is that a lot of the things that are placed in movies, they may be a little bit of truth directly to it. You heard the man directly in the video after the article I read off, and he was talking about, hey, a supposed cyber attack and how people need to prepare and these different things that need to be implemented for the security and the safety of the people and yada yada yada. And it's all very strange, isn't it? It's very strange that you can have all of these quote unquote rich folks directly out there needing to make plans and needing to do this for everybody else, but what are they specifically doing for themselves? Why is it that you have millionaires and billionaires building bunkers, building underground shelters? Why is that? Why is it that the billionaires, some of the most richest of the richest, they got bunkers all over the world? Ask yourself, why do a lot of these millionaires and billionaires have dual citizenship? Why is it that a lot of these millionaires and billionaires also have their own private planes and boats? Again, you have to ask yourself and ponder, what is it that they know versus what is it that we don't know, and what is it that they have not told us? Because again, everything is a giant party. It's just that you're not invited, and that you means every ordinary person directly out here. And this is why I keep sitting up there telling people, it don't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican, it don't matter if you're racist this or non-racist. At the end of the day, everybody is going to get shafted. If you're not a part of the large group, that small little conglomerate of the millionaires and the billionaires and the have and all these other types of people, guess what? You're going to be, left. That's how that works. That is how that works, right? Because you're dealing with the quote unquote supposed gods that are out there, right? And what do gods normally do when they have no other use for their people? They abandon them. So that means your favorite celebrities. That means your favorite politicians. That means all of the people that you like to look up to that are way, way richer than you, that you idolize and that you want to look directly up to. They know a lot of things that you don't. Their families will be safe while yours are not. They're left out there to be stranded or to be non existent. Like I said before, a lot of people out there have what's called self preservation, but it seems that the ordinary folks directly out here don't have it because the rich have made it a very great thing to put out as much information as possible in a little bit of time in order to keep people looking here, there, and everywhere versus being focused on what is really transpiring and taking place. So, again, as the talking head, as just a random voice directly out here on YouTube that is a conspiracy theorist and all this other type of stuff. All I'm just simply telling to people out here is just be prepared. have, whatever you can directly in order just in case something does happen. Remember, I gave you guys a video before during the pandemic. It was called Songbird. If you don't know what that is, you can, go look it up on. I think it should be on Amazon or wherever it is that you just so happen to watch movies, and you can look at that. They've had a lot of movies, even during the pandemic, that have told you a lot of things, but yet people don't want to pay attention. So yet here we are. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything I listed in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.